I'm Barb, joined by Nina. Don't be fooled. She's not Brad.
Oh, jeez.
Right now that we're both hydrated. So today we're going to be talking about a number of things. I think where we're going to start is talking about your personal brand, a topic near and dear to both of our hearts that makes us very thirsty, and kind of how that plays into, hey, Trevor, how that plays into iterating your offer. And of course, this will probably lead us back into mindset, as it always does. Hey, Thomas. Hey, Miss Ma'am. So full transparency, like we always do. So right now I am working on, I have a project in the works relating to personal branding. And Nina is a personal branding expert, and so she can probably contribute a ton to this conversation. But I think what kind of inspired my turning to personal branding and creating a personal brand as it relates to your online business is, to be completely honest, kind of realizing that I had done that in my own business unintentionally, and seeing the value of building a personal brand and kind of what that means and what that looks like and why it will be beneficial to your business. But I'll just kind of talk about what my experience has been, and then you can add your 2 cents or like 50 cents. Nina's a personal branding expert, so in case you guys aren't familiar. But as a lot of you know, hey, fellow Barbara, as a lot of you know, so my affiliate marketing journey started back, I got on TikTok back in February, and kind of like many people who are just starting, I didn't really have a content strategy. My strategy was kind of just, throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And it's funny because I've looked back at my old content from when I first started creating content, and I realized that the vast majority of what I was creating was very personal to me. I wasn't doing a ton of kind of like that copycat stuff, or like using other people's content, just recreating it, with my audience. But really, I was kind of describing my vision for my life, what was important to me from like a values perspective, like sharing my goals and my vulnerabilities, and being just kind of really authentic and transparent with my audience, and sharing value along the way. So not just the value of the products that I was, or, that I'm promoting, but kind of the value of starting an online business, being an entrepreneur, the freedom that brings, and how that all kind of ties together with my own values of like personal growth and development and freedom and that type of a thing. But I essentially was creating my personal brand by creating that type of content and really sharing who I was with my target audience and giving them the opportunity to get to know me as a person, versus just be a talking head pointing to the screen and talking about this product. You should go buy it. Click the link in my bio. And so I think that there's a qualitative difference between being a talking head that promotes a certain product and building your identity around that product, versus building your identity around your personal brand, who you are, what you value, who you're here to help, and why. And then you just happen to be promoting various products that fall in line with those values and that mission. Anyway, so that's kind of a little bit about my story, and I've come to the realization in the last several months that building a personal brand is where, just like most things in entrepreneurship, where you can be vulnerable and where you can do things that push you outside of your comfort zone and really kind of clarify who you are, what you're about, what's important to you, and who you want to help and serve, and like why you're here, not just here on this live or here on TikTok or here as an entrepreneur, but here on this earth. That's so powerful. And so I really want to help people to kind of understand what that process looks like and really get vulnerable and share their stories with the world. Even if you think that you don't have an interesting story or you've never really struggled with anything major, I promise you have been through some stuff that you've learned from, and you can help other people with that experience. So with that, Nina, do you want to talk about your experience with personal branding, your expertise?
Yeah, I love personal branding because it brings the human element into business, and it really just separates you. Like, so many people can get lost and consumed while building a business, and their identity is solely attached to like a marketer or this or that or whatever your brand truly is or your business truly is. Whereas when you do have that personal brand aspect, you are able to share, as you said, those parts of yourself away from this business. And like, I'll speak about like my own personal brand. So obviously I'm Creative Brand Framework. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically just a coaching program, consulting agency based in the marketing and automation field. So I am the front end marketer for my business. However, my personal brand is based on basically overcoming mental health and women in entrepreneurship. And that's like what people know me for in the online space. It's basically talking about mental health. So because I work so much in my business all the time and I do create content around my business, it's so nice to actually have that piece of me that's like a huge chunk of like why I am where I am out in the online space, and people know that about me. So same thing with you, Barb. It's just like you've been making content since the beginning, and like you're just down to earth. Like the first time I saw your videos, I was like, this woman just knows what she's talking about. She's down to earth and she's just doing what she has to do so she can get through the day. And you got cats.
I sure do.
So super relatable though. And like the beauty of a personal brand is like, it takes that business element away from the person and it makes it easier to connect from a human to human standpoint. Mm-hmm. Even if you guys are separated from like current self versus desired self, there's never a gap because it's always you're talking to another person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was using this example the other day. Like something, I think I made a video, and this is not like any secret, obviously, for anybody who has ever seen any of my content, but I had made a TikTok video back in like March, and it was like a list of things that I've learned in like being in recovery, being in AA, and how it relates to entrepreneurship. And I can promise you, I was not copying that video from anyone else, or, I don't think that anyone else has been making that comparison that I've ever seen. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you've ever seen anybody else make that content, but obviously that's for a lot of people a very vulnerable subject, but it's like going back to what you were saying, Nina, it's like so central to my experience in my life and how I got to this point, and really how I've learned so much about myself and how the world works and what my strengths and weaknesses are, and so much about entrepreneurship really. So it felt like kind of imperative for me to share that with people, because I think that a lot of people get stuck with creating content and they don't know what they should be sharing. For me, my kind of perspective on it has always been like, go along with it, like learn, develop yourself as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and document that journey. And so like for me, when I made that video, for example, I had just come to this realization, like, oh, so much of what I am learning about entrepreneurship is so similar with what I've learned in AA. And so it made sense for me to create that video in that moment. But I feel like so many people get so product centric, they get stuck on, well, how many videos can I make about this product? Don't make videos about the product. You just happen to be promoting it. You're kind of promoting yourself first, and then if you happen to have a product that is in line with who you are and what you're about, dope. It just makes that product seem relatable and, like a solution to people's problems because you are the one promoting it. It's like I made the comment before, you guys are probably all familiar with Rachel Peterson, but it's like, I don't know what she sells, but I don't care. Like I would buy from her because I feel like I know her. And I like her and I trust her, like that know, like, and trust factor is so easy to communicate when you're just being completely real and kind of showing the stuff that you would normally hide. Like Rachel Peterson will parade around in her bikini and show like her belly from, having kids and stuff. And it's just super real and super transparent, like, take it or leave it, but this is who I am and this is what you get. And that is just so refreshing and endearing, really. And it's not going to appeal to every single human on earth. There are probably people that watch her content and they're like, ew, why is she showing that? Or why is she talking about that? And that's not her people. That's not her tribe. And that's okay. Not everyone is going to resonate with your story or your message or how you come across. But that's the whole point, is you're excluding the folks that aren't about it. They don't want to be part of your tribe, and you're drawing close the people who are 100% about it. They resonate with you. And that's so powerful, Yeah.
And the one thing I love about personal brands too, it's just like, you get to base your business and your brand around your own personal core values. And that's huge. It's like trust, integrity, like full send. That's something that you say in radical transparency. You say it in your community too. It's like, how can you start with that truthful and honest and forward presence online? And the best thing about a brand that's a personal brand is authenticity, as you were saying before. And like from the get-go, any client that I've ever worked with before that's trying to build a personal brand, build your character, not a character. That's the right quote. Build your character, not a character. So be so clear of who you want to be and what you want to bring to the table. With the personal brand, it could obviously change and shift over time. But as you're growing your business, as you're growing your character, your business should grow with you. Your tribe will grow with you, things like that. So it's like, be true to who you are. Don't try to fake it. It's going to be really hard to like keep up with a character that's not who you are at the end of the day, and just go with it. Start posting, make people cringe. I made a video about this the other
saw
day.
it. I saved that sound because I loved it so much. I've seen a video that also totally spoke to me. And it's like, if you cringe watching your own content, kill the part of yourself that cringes. Don't kill the part of yourself that creates content. I'm paraphrasing, but like, do it until it's not cringy to you anymore. Like, and I feel like this is something, I don't know if it's just like a function of getting older, because in my 20s and, when I was a teenager, oh my God, I cared what everyone thought. But it's like, there's that quote, when you're 20, you care about what everyone thinks. When you're 40, you're like, to hell with what everyone thinks. I'm going to do what I want. And when you're 60, you realize nobody was ever thinking about you. They were too busy thinking about themselves. And I feel like that has 100% been my experience. It's like, who cares what anyone thinks? Like, the people that love you are going to love you because of your quirks and your like eccentricities and all the things about you that make you you. They're going to love you because of that, not despite that,
Take advantage of that free rent. It's the only place you'll get free rent in someone's mind.
Really.
That's so true though.
Yeah.
It's a good soft pivot to the future version of like who people want to be. If you want to talk about that, I know it's something that you might be bringing up in the near future.
Yeah. Who people want to be. That's such a good one. Gosh. And I feel like that ties in with like goal setting for me. And it goes, there's like I can't remember, it's like a quote or like kind of a mantra, but it's like, you become the person first and then you have the stuff, like you have the things after. So it's like be, do, have, you know what I mean? So it's like, become the person that does the things that, the things that you think you need to do to make you successful or reach whatever goal. And then you will have those things, but you have to become that person first, And I was actually just talking about this with my coaching clients the other day, was like your internal value will be reflected externally, but you have to have it internally first, And so like figuring out who you want to be when you grow up, like what kind of qualities, what kind of values are important to you, and becoming that person, and then documenting that journey, and developing those habits that will support that. That's my jam right there, is like figuring out, because like, if you guys have hung around me for any length of time, that I'm of the opinion, and it's not just my opinion. This is supported by research and tons of scientific studies, and I will give you books and studies galore if you are interested in reading them. But everything is a skill, everything. And so just like, if you suck at basketball and you can't shoot to save your life, if you practice, you will become a better basketball player. If you are not a good copywriter, you can practice, you can learn. Like, our brains are amazing, and we can learn to do any skill. And our personality traits, our characteristics, like the things about us that we want to change or enhance or improve, you absolutely can. And it's a skill. You just need to think or figure out the behaviors that and the habits that support that, and turn that from a goal or a dream into you doing those habits every day. And then those habits get internalized into us and become part of us. And I can tell you a million examples in my own life of that being true, but just take my word for it.
Yeah. The one thing I love about personal branding too, is just like, you can kind of design who exactly you want to be by having like a vision board of people that you want to be like. So it's basically, if you want to start developing a personal brand, you want to get online and you don't really know exactly what you want to sell yet. What do you want to be known for? Or how do you want to be known?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be the luxury brand? Do you want to be the laid back kind of like, this is who I am every day?
Pajamas brand. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to wear a robe on camera like Barb? That's a good one. That's my favorite. Like, what do you want to be known for? And like, start showing up as that person every single day. If you want to be known for someone who is on a journey, like a fitness journey, that was something that actually kicked off my personal brand earlier this year, was the 75 hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, I just started posting almost every single day about my journey with the 75 hard, and you were able to absolutely see the change from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, people were on the journey with me. I was doing it with my friend Easton. And it's just like, when you start getting known or being known for something, people are going to start looking into the journey. And it's like, oh, like, they'll clap on your Instagram post or they'll comment on your video. And by the end, they'll ask you like, how can I get started?
Yeah.
And like, that's exactly how you start building something. You just be consistent. Pick one or two things that you're going to be talking about that you want to, like, it's not even that I wanted to be known for the 75 hard. It was just something that was keeping me accountable, posting in front of people. But that's what you should do when you're first starting a personal brand, is start posting and use the feedback as like an accountability. You're going to see the same people over and over starting to like look at exactly, or start commenting and posting on your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's your tribe. That's how you start building a tribe.
That's gold right there. Gretchen says, I need to rewatch this. What I've heard is gold, but I've missed parts at work. We got you, girl.
Is that Gretchen who joined our program yesterday?
Gretchen Bates.
Yes. Hey, Gretchen, how's it going? She's a new CBFM member.
Oh, awesome. You're in good company.
Personal branding. Anyway, we're going to shift into mindset. So Barb, what books are you reading right now?
Girl, I have like 10 in my arsenal. Let me look at my everything that I have in my Audible. One of them, the one I always recommend is The Big Leap. If you struggle with, like, if you're one of those people that struggles, and I think we all do. So if you're one of those people that exists, this is for you. But The Big Leap is really for folks who kind of like self-sabotage or feel like, it's like, have you ever been to a really good point in your life and then you're like, okay, something bad's going to happen. I just know it. Like that, this book is for you. Like basically the ways that we create or allow like events in our life to like smash us back down when we're on an upward spiral. I'm telling you, that book will change your life 100%. Read that, read A Happy Pocket Full of Money. That's just like a mindset explosion. I've listened to it probably 5 times in the last 2 weeks on Audible. Let's see what else. Oh, the miracle equation. Speaking of setting goals, the miracle equation, you guys, I know I recommended it in a few different, I think, videos, but read it. And especially it's so perfect because it's almost New Year's. And if you are a goal setter like I am around this time, I'm telling you, like these books can literally change your life. I would add to that, listen to them. This is always how I listen to audiobooks, but listen to them as if they are factually true, not somebody's opinion, but listen to them as if they're true, like a science book, and internalize that information like it's a new fact that you just learned. And you're going to start living your life according to that. And your life will change. Like I can promise you. Anyway, those are some I highly recommend. What about you, Nina?
You know what book I'm currently listening to? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And I've listened to it before, and it's an angry Irishman just screaming in my ear. And I'm just like, you right. He's literally talking about exactly what the title says. It's like, stop caring about what other people are thinking about you. Stop taking things personally. And like, these are things that like, yeah, at this time in life, it's like, the more exposed I feel online as my personal brand is growing, I'm sure you feel this too. It's like, you get a little bit feedback from people. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't care. You can't let people on the internet that don't know who you are, how you are, what you do, basically interfere with who you are. So I put the book in my ears and I was just like, I need to listen to this because I got to learn really, like, as I'm getting like shit on the internet, how not to actually give a shit, excuse my language, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
So that was one of them. And the other book that I'm actually reading again is The Four Agreements. And it's one of my favorite books because it's like, it brings me back home. It's a Native American book.
Yeah.
Have you read it?
I did in college, so a long time ago.
Yeah, it's one of my, I keep it in my car, and I actually ended up bringing it to Columbia with me because I was like, every time I need to reground, this is the book that I reach out to. And just so happens that like, I feel like I needed it when I came here to Columbia, and I was like, you absolutely did. You need to reground. So it's basically just talking about like, again, not taking things personally, always trying your hardest, doing what you have to do, be honest and truthful, and like basically sticking to your core values once you find them. And it's definitely important.
Yeah. Speaking of personal branding, that's like the perfect connection. Yeah, I need to read that book you were talking about. I feel like something that I just, full transparency, I found myself, it's like, this is why I hate viral traffic, just as an aside, is because you will get so many people commenting or interacting with your content that are not your people. They're looky-loos, they're passers-by, they're just there to ruffle feathers or, say something rude or, whatever. I'm not saying everyone involved in viral traffic is like that, but you get so much more of that versus a video that is like a TikTok video specifically that is really just reaching your target audience and the people that you're trying to communicate with. But what I found was, and in reading the book, A Happy Pocket Full of Money, I was giving all of this negative energy. And I realized like giving this negative energy to these people making rude comments and trying to justify myself to them was actually a disservice to me. And it's like, I would, get on TikTok and comment back. And then I realized, number one, it's putting me in a bad mood. Number two, all the energy that I'm spending and putting out there in the universe that is negative or angry or frustrated or whatever, like that doesn't just go nowhere. You know what I mean? Like that's going to ripple around and come back to me. And so, yeah, like learning how to not care about the people that are not, you're not going to win them over because you're not trying to win them over. Actually some guy, on this video that I made today or yesterday said that, called me a Karen or something. And I was like, yeah, thanks. I've been practicing. So that response is qualitatively different than me flying off the handle and getting all crazy. But I'm like, he's just trying to get a reaction out of me. And if I don't play into it, or if I just, I could have just not responded, but I thought I'd respond with something funny. But do you know what I mean? Like there's just such a difference for me in my energy and in my life and that's going to have a knock-on effect to everything else. So
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are scared to start their personal brand or start posting online because of that factor of like, I understand like one, caring what other people think, but two, being bullied online. And that's like a true thing. We're older, 25 to 50 years old in the community that we're in. And it's just like, or even 19, because Alex is not Alex,
Yeah.
Trevor's 19. Like, you're going to probably get these negative comments, and being able to do exactly like what Barb said is either laugh it off or just be like, whatever, it doesn't matter, is like a huge thing. And like, I'm not going to say it's easy. The first time you get like a troll commenting on your videos, like it's going to set you back a little bit, but it is like when you learn how to laugh at yourself and like you realize that, all right, like who is this guy? He's probably sitting in his mom's basement and probably 4 years old. Not to judge and assume, that was really mean, but like realistically speaking, someone who's happy with themselves is not going to project onto other people and make other people feel like crap for no reason. So don't take it personally. It's probably something that they're going through as well.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I totally just assumed. I'm so sorry if anyone's watching this from their mom's basement. I know COVID was hard.
You could be the greatest person in the world and known for doing great things. You're going to have critics. Absolutely, Trevor. Yeah. It's like you could be the greatest humanitarian. Like people were critical of Mother Teresa, of Princess Diana, of, of all these people who were just out there trying to do their best and try to be helpful and vulnerable and, kind of establish a legacy and do good things for people. And they still had their naysayers and people criticizing them. So that's an excellent point.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes that I heard from my mentor, Ravi Abudallah: if you haven't pissed someone off by 12 o'clock, you're not doing enough. And like, people are going to get pissed off even if they see you happy. So it's like, you could be doing nothing. You could just be vibing hard online, doing like the least, and someone will still be like, negative comment. It is what it is,
girl. And you know what? Actually, this is like a perfect tie-in to women in entrepreneurship. I feel like I know people, men, women, whoever gets criticized, like we all get criticized or whatever. But I think that as women, we tend to take that negative critique and internalize it. And so it is such an important skill, not just like ability, because I feel like that has a connotation that it's somehow innate, or we're either born with it or we're not, but it's a skill that you can develop to learn to not internalize that kind of stuff. Cause I mean, like I've had TikTok lives where people come on and they're trying to hit on me. And in that same live, someone has told me, you're getting way too comfortable always wearing your pajamas or always wearing your robe. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you're never going to please everyone. So you might as well please yourself, because that's the ultimate, I guess, goal. And that's really going to help you stay connected to the people that you want to stay connected to ultimately. So
here's a good question. What's your favorite kind of content to create and why?
Like on what platform or what type within like whatever platform?
What type on whatever platform? It doesn't matter. Just any type of content.
I love to talk about, like, tell stories about growth and looking back at how much I've grown or goals that I was just writing an email about this today, or like as an example for my coaching clients, but like telling a story of like where I started from or where I've been in my past and how I like the steps that I've taken to like improve my life, or like looking back and reflecting like, wow, I set this goal and it was like way too small, and thinking of how that it's like, I get very meta, like I think of like the goals that I'm setting now and I'm like, are they too small? Because they feel really big for me right now. But I also felt the same when I was setting goals back in January when I was first, starting my online business. And so I love to like talk about how to shift your paradigm or how to think about things differently in a more adaptive or growth oriented way, like that's my favorite content to create. What about
Okay.
you?
I love talking about mindset. Like I could sit here and you and I talk about mindset almost every week on
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, but definitely just like reminding yourself of how far you come is huge. Oh my God, stop. I went on my TikTok and scrolled all the way back to my first video.
Mhm. Girl, you should duet it.
Actually, I will. I absolutely will. But nah, just going on there and being able to talk about mindset and the transformation because like if anyone's watching this, like I was severely depressed a couple of years ago to the point I couldn't even get out of bed. Like I stopped playing soccer, I gained so much weight, and just like I wasn't who I am today. And the thing is like the fact that I could be a testimonial to the fact that you can change and help other people in the process just by talking about it. I got a text today from one of my friends from college that she was literally saying like, thank you every time I see your post. Like I want to step outside my comfort zone. You've been a huge factor in my like growth journey within the past year. And like that alone just made me so happy to see. And I haven't spoken to her in 2 years, and shout out to Jess because she's just an amazing soul and spirit. But like keep posting about the things that you like. Like I love mental health. I love making videos like this, but it's just like you don't know who you're going to inspire on your journey. So
Yeah.
what you are inspired by will inspire others by the way that you speak about it. So no matter what kind of content that you like to make, start creating.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that going back to the book I'm reading right now, A Happy Pocket Full of Money, 10 out of 10 recommend you guys. But something that the author talks about is it's like we're not inspired to do something or to talk about something or to start some kind of business or start some kind of new endeavor for nothing. It's like we have that inspiration because there's someone out there that wants to receive it. You know what I mean? So it's like the business that you've been longing to create. Someone is out there longing for that business to be created so they can be your customer, you know? Like someone out there is waiting for you to make that TikTok that's a little awkward and a little vulnerable because they feel the exact same way and they want somebody to connect to. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't just stem from nowhere. Like humanity is like this one big cell, you can think of it as, and like, so we're all just one organism and we all are interconnected. I know that sounds hippie, but it's like so true. And it's been like backed up by physics and religion and all this other stuff. But like our desires speak to us for a certain reason. And so when we're stifling that stuff, we're putting it down inside of us because we feel like nobody cares or nobody's going to care. They're going to think this is stupid or whatever. Like you're cutting yourself off. We are cutting ourselves off from our community, our tribe, like the people who are going to rally behind us and like lift us up, and that you get to lift up too by creating something, you know? So if anyone's watching and they're like, if you're on the fence about creating content of any kind, you know, get off the fence, jump in. You will be pleasantly surprised by the response that you get.
Yeah. And don't be scared to be ridiculously yourself. Like when I say ridiculous, Barb, you wear a robe on camera. And me, I throw shit at whiteboards and I hit the camera to like get people's attention.
Yeah.
My aggression comes out on camera. It's like, it's a real thing.
Mhm.
So like, don't be scared to be 100% your ridiculous self. Not saying that you're ridiculous, but like,
Oh, I am.
you are. So am I. But like, don't be scared to show those fun parts of you, the quirky parts of you, and even like the vulnerable parts of you. Like vulnerability, it's not even like, oh, vulnerability sells. It does, but like, it's a real connection. And I don't think people understood that social media could form real deep connections until COVID hit. And that's like the only place that we were able to rely on. And now people are seeking out there to find people that relate to them, especially there's been like a very big energetic shift in the universe from like pre-COVID that we're all still trying to process to post-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
People are trying to look for connection that's actually very meaningful, and they're going online to find people. So if you could be an inspiration to somebody by posting ridiculously vulnerable content or ridiculously true content to who you are, you will find people that it resonates with. And that's the best way of moving it all the way back around to build a personal brand. It's just like, find what you like, find what you're passionate about, start building content. You don't need to monetize right away. You can, but like build a brand around something that you're passionate about, and the money will come as a byproduct.
Yes, absolutely. And it's almost like, I might even argue that I heard this example once, and it was someone who basically had created a personal brand, wasn't monetizing anything, was just like they're telling their story, providing value, and really building a community. And then like once they had this huge following, then they were like, I can't remember the exact context, so forgive me for like messing up the details, but they started promoting something. I can't remember what it was, but the amount of people, it's like they're almost, because they know, like, and trust you, and you've built this community and done so much connection and relationship building up front, that by the time you're like, hey, this is something I recommend, or this is something I promote, or this is an offer that I have, it's like they're so hungry to consume whatever that you're producing because they just freaking love you, that it's going to have like an even bigger impact than if you just, are trying to sell to people on day one, and I think that's like, yeah, if there's like one piece of advice I could give like a brand new content creator, it would be stop trying to shove products down people's throats from the get-go. Tell your story, document your journey, tell about something hard or embarrassing that you've been through and what you learned from it. Like my sister has been through so much like difficulty and just like heartache in her life. And I'm like, you need to get on TikTok and tell your story. I don't know how you're going to monetize it. I don't know how you're going to turn this into a business. I just know that you will benefit so many people other moms who've been through so much stuff. Like, yeah, anyway, but it's the relationship building, the finding your people, the telling your story, the becoming the better version of you. Like read the description of our Facebook group, you guys. Become the better version of you first, and then you reap the rewards second. I used to work at this job in investment management, and we would always complain about how you basically, like I was trying to get promoted to vice president. And I was like, you literally have to do the job of vice president for like 2 years before they will promote you to vice president. And it's like that in life to a much lesser and less abusive extent. But it's like, you have to become that person first. Become the person that is worth paying X amount of dollars per month. Become the person that is capable of talking in front of large audiences or selling some product that they created. Become that person first, and then you will get that money per month. Then you will be able to sell that product. Then you will get that outcome, Yeah.
And I also think that exposing yourself online is one of the fastest ways to like overcome any pain threshold of posting online. So when you are radically true about what you've been through and who you are, and you post online, nothing can stop you from that point because you're not hiding anything.
Girl.
And no one can call you out for I don't like the past version of myself. I love her, but I don't like her.
Mm.
And just like, I've called myself out so many times for being her.
Yeah.
And it's just like, same for you. Like you've accepted the fact that you were not where you are right now. And it's just like, if you expose yourself, anything that anyone says, anyone that tries to poke holes, like, all right,
dude,
I got me. That's it.
There's a saying in AA that you're only as sick as your darkest secret. That it's like that fear of being found out, that shame is what keeps us down. And if you like, for example, my biggest fear when I was actively an alcoholic and addict was that I was going to get found out and everyone was going to learn that I wasn't this perfect put together adult human being that I had created this facade of. And so obviously, like I came to a point where I was like, okay, I have to choose between death, like for sure death, or reaching out for help and like admitting that I'm actually what I felt like I was like a piece of garbage. And I chose life. But that also meant everybody in my world found out that I was this, ridiculous alcoholic and addict. And my life wasn't all put together like I had made it out to be. And, I just wasn't who I was trying to portray. And what that was an awful experience for sure. And I'm not saying, run out and develop an addiction so that you can work through it. Like there are better ways, like becoming an entrepreneur. But what I learned from that is such an important lesson. Number one, the people that love me, they stuck around and they loved me regardless. Number two, that rock bottom of, well, here's all my shit, take it or leave it. Like there's nothing that scares me now compared to that. Like nothing coming close. Like I could get on a TikTok live wearing this long hoodie, this velour hoodie that kind of looks like a dress.
Is it from Costco?
I don't know. My sister gave it to me actually, because she had two for whatever reason. But it's like when you just accept who you are and accept all facets of yourself and just kind of put it out there, nothing is as scary as that first admission kind of. And so everything from that point forward, just like you were saying, Nina, is like, well, here I am. And there's something so empowering about just accepting yourself as you are in that moment and sharing that. And like, that is how you become the better version of you, honestly. If you want to know like the shortcut to wealth or development or whatever the goal is or the outcome is that you want to reach, it's that. Start creating content that feels crazy vulnerable. And that's how you get there. Doing it consistently over time, documenting your journey with the explicit goals of becoming that person,
And also surround yourself with people who have taken that mask off. That is like the only way to kind of really be true to who you are, is by surrounding yourself with people who are also true with who they are. And like Barb, that's why we vibe so hard, because it's just like we could just sit back and talk about anything.
Yeah.
There is vulnerability. There is like a strong friendship here. There is like we want something greater than ourselves we're building. But when you surround yourself with people like that, you realize that like you don't want to play the game of life that people are all playing poker. I talk about this all the time. Everyone's sitting at the poker table. They all have their poker faces on, and it's like eventually everyone folds. Be the person playing chess. It's a strategic game, and you can always win if you have the proper strategy. Step away from the table that doesn't suit you. Stop playing life as a gamble. Be true to who you are, and checkmate. That's it.
Bam. I'm getting that tattooed on me.
I have a poem. I'll send it to you.
Yes, I would love to see it.
But that's really how I see it. It's just like, don't be the person who's like, oh, you see through everyone. Don't call people out for wearing masks. That's their own journey. Focus on yourself, focus on your own journey, start being vulnerable and start posting online. And that's the quickest way of building a personal brand if we want to bring it full circle.
Full circle. A couple comments. Someone said, the biggest problem I see with TikTok is people are afraid to put their face in the videos. People are very insecure about that, for sure. Yeah, I think that kind of is in line with what we were just talking about with fear and vulnerability, and it's like a simple but not easy process for overcoming that. Someone else says, I'm in AA working the program. Congratulations. All of this is what I need to hear, not caring about what other people think and embracing my past and who I am now as is. Girl, 100%. There's another saying in AA that like we are basically, to paraphrase, we like are not our past. Like we're not going to shut our door on the past. So we remember who we are, where we came from, but we don't carry that shame and that guilt and those negative feelings. Like releasing that and just realizing that we're doing the best that we can with the knowledge and the skills and tools that we have. It's so freeing to allow you to like actually breathe and not feel like you have a weight on your chest, and you could do something bigger than just exist in this life. Again, relating back to personal brand, like who you want to serve and the impact that you want to have. Eric says, indeed. Eric is everywhere. Anyway, does anyone have any last minute questions or comments or any thoughts that are coming up for you as we getting ready to wrap up?
Yeah, I'm surprised this whole conversation did not turn into solely just mindset.
I
Even
know
though-
you did really well.
I know. Anytime it turned, it was like personal brand.
All right. I don't think any more questions or comments. Nina, do you have any last minute wisdom or thoughts that you want to impart unto us?
Do you mind if I plug Digital Marketer Roundtable?
Oh, of course.
All right. So everyone who's watching this, come join Barb and I live tomorrow at 10:30 EST in my group, six figure
Coaches,
entrepreneurs,
something like that. I'll put the link in the comments.
six-figure coaches, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. We just changed the name and I'm still not exactly sure what it is, but it's Creative Brand Framework. But Barb, myself, my partner, Brad Schildkraut, Trevor Gundrum, and Alex Robinson, we're all going live tomorrow. We're going to be smacking high value talk about digital marketing secrets. See you guys there.